So this video is going to be kind of hard to record and I don't know how to put it in words. So roughly about at lunchtime for me at 1 AM, I found out that Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, Dr. Slump, known for doing the designs in Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger, had passed away at the age of 68. And this is still kind of a shock for me to see because I'm still seeing it all over on my social media, on the Facebook and Twitters, and I'm still trying to find a way to digest it because even while at work a lot of people were asking me if I had heard about it or if I had heard the news after I checked my phone at roughly about 1 PM. And even after work I stayed back at the pub for drinks and we were talking about stuff like Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that, and that was still very hard to digest because series like Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have had such large impacts on a lot of people's lives. So this is still kind of a shock to me because Dragon Ball is one of those series that has had a big influence on my life, a long influence on my life, because I remember watching Dragon Ball Z when it first aired on Cheese TV on Network 10 back in the late 90s. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically a cartoon block back in the 90s on Australian TV, but that's where Dragon Ball Z would air. And I remember when it aired, to be honest, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, I did not like Dragon Ball Z when it aired on Australian TV because it was very weird, it was very different for me, it took over a lot of Marvel shows for me that was airing on TV at the time. So I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but eventually I came around and I grew to love it, and Dragon Ball is one of those series that stuck with me ever since then. Like, I've read the manga several times, I've watched the anime in English and Japanese several times, and Akira Toriyama, his writing, his designs, his art style has stuck with me for several years. But not only that, not only me, like his creations has stuck with a lot of people for the past of many years, like series like One Piece and Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, Naruto. Those series were inspired by Dragon Ball. A lot of shonen series was inspired by Dragon Ball as it had that creative influence on it. And a lot of those series probably wouldn't be where they are today without Dragon Ball. And honestly, words can't describe at what I'm feeling right now because I'm still in loss and shock right now with trying to dissect this news because, like I said, I went out drinking after I knocked off work. It's still an emotional thing that you see on your timeline whenever you open up your social media. You can't escape it. It's a lot like a lot of deaths of celebrities that you see on your feed. Like, you can't escape it, and it's going to be one of those things that's gonna sit with you for a while because Akira Toriyama had such an influence on a lot of people's lives. But Dragon Ball Z was, like I said, it was one of those series I watched before school, and when I got to school I would talk about it with my friends, and I made a lot of friends through Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And even online and offline I've met a lot of people and talked to a lot of people because of Dragon Ball. And I know I'm a Power Rangers YouTube channel, but if you go back and you read some of the Power Ranger comics here and there, like the recent one from Boom Studios, one of the artists, you can see that they put a lot of Dragon Ball references in their run. There's the run that we had back in Mighty Morphin when during the Macaroon run, and there was so many Dragon Ball references in that issue. There was the fusion dance, the Yamcha pose and stuff like that. Like, I know I'm a silly Power Rangers YouTube channel, but even stuff like Power Ranger comics, Dragon Ball has had an influence on artists like that in the comic book series, which is crazy to think about because I was going back and I was re-listening to the episode of Ranger Command that I was on. And I talked about those inspirations from Dragon Ball that was in there, which is crazy to think about. But Akira Toriyama has had such an influence on my life and a lot of people's lives and stuff like that, and I feel like I wouldn't be where I am without characters like Goku, without characters like Vegeta, where you push towards your limits, like you work out, you go beyond with what you can do and just strive to be a better person here and there. And I know I'm rambling and rumbling at this point, but it's a lot to take in, and I'm sure that it's going to be a sad couple of days online and on the internet, but I just want to say thank you, Akira Toriyama, for everything you've done and the work you've put out and the influence you've had on my lives and a lot of people's lives with your creations, with your series, with your characters, and I feel like we wouldn't be where we are today without your work. So I feel like I'm going to drop this video here, end it here, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. It's a lot to take in, and I'm still hurting from reading all of this. But I'll see you guys whenever I do. But yeah, just take care of yourself and each other, and I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.